and Miss Jacqueline Frost. Joining them tonight are their special guests, Miss Denise Russell and KJ Karen O'Brien. Pour up your favorite cocktail and let's join Beer and Frost.
Good evening, guys. Welcome to Stay Fabulous. We have a great show for you tonight. We've got the lovely Miss Denise Russell, and we also have the #1 KJ karaoke in Michigan, Miss Karen O'Brien, KJ Karen O'Brien, which you guys saw last week because we had her on. So I guess we're going to get started. They're both live singers. So Denise, are you ready? You want to go ahead and start?
Of course, I can do that.
Okay.
Let's get going here. We'll cross our fingers. Some of these days, you're gonna miss me, honey. Some of these days, you're gonna be so lonely. You'll miss my hugging, miss my kissing too. You're gonna be so lonely when I'm away from you. Yes, you're gonna be lonely. I said you'll be lonely for me only, 'cause you know you had to have it your way. And when you leave me, Lord is gonna grieve me. You'll miss your red hot mama some of these days. Oh, you're gonna be lonely. I said you're gonna be lonely for me only, 'cause you know you had to have it your way. And when you leave me, oh Lord, it's gonna grieve me. You miss your red hot mama some of these days. You're gonna miss me some of these days. You're gonna miss me come some of these days. There we go.
That was
Yay.
awesome. You're always awesome.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
I don't think I've ever seen a bad show.
Oh, I have my moments.
Well, I mean, other than the course the internet. Remember those days?
Oh, yes.
I think we all go through that, though.
Yes.
Karen, you ready? Do yours?
Wait, before she does that, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Kaylin,
Yes.
they're supposed to be taken out of the screen when they're singing.
Will they still be able to see?
We can see her perform, but we're supposed to be taken out of the screen.
I know, but I'm saying, like when Denise performed, will she still be able to see all four of us or all three of us?
No, she'll see her, and then you'll bring us back after she's done.
Right, but she wanted us to be on there while she did it. Right, Denise?
We're good.
She wanted to be able to see us.
No, that was when we're doing the interview. When we're doing the interview, all four of us will be on the screen. But when they're performing, they're going to be the only ones on the screen. I've been messaging you, girl. You've been pinging.
Oh, was that you? I turned my phone off. I'm sorry. All right, fine. Okay. Oh, God. Denise, sorry, we're still working out a lot of stuff.
It's fine, sweetheart. You've seen my show. Sometimes it's a disaster.
Okay. No, it's not a disaster. All right. Are you ready to bring Karen on? You bring her on this.
I'll bring her on.
Good.
Gentlemen, she is my good friend, my sister, the head of the Detroit Invasion, everyone's favorite KJ karaoke in Michigan. This is KJ Karen O'Brien.
Hey.
Thank you, honey. Just a little bit of a warning. Those of you that have small children in the room, or you're not really all that liking about anything that is against the Christmas song, one of it, I do my own parodies. I write them. So this is a dirty parody, but it's PG-13 for Facebook and whatever else we're linked into. Spankings with pedals and corsets of leather, hot wax from candles and tickling with feathers, ankles and wrists that are tied up with strings. These are my favorite S&M things. 6-inch stilettos with black fishnet stockings, blindfolds and handcuffs and hard verbal mockings, riding crop whips that leave welts when they sting. These are my favorite S&M things. Black doggy collars with spikes made of steel, harnesses wrap round you so tight make you squeal. Yanking on nipples will cause you to scream. These are my favorite S&M things. When the binds break, when the rope stings, makes me feeling sad. I remember my favorite S&M things, then I don't feel so bad. Commands from masters and puppies with collars. Mistress will train you if you pay by the hour. Complaining and bitching will get you no pain. Be a good doggy and don't leave a stain. Bears in black leather, cubs dressed to the T. Otters and pandas, polar bears you will see. Tattoos and piercings and D's wearing rings. These are my favorite S&M things. Dungeons and tie-downs and twinks in a cage. Leathermen strutting their stuff on the stage. Bus chaps aplenty and guys sucking. Ain't no big surprise for this Goldilocks. When the loot's gone, when the sling breaks, when I'm feeling sad, I think of my favorite S&M things, then I don't feel so bad.
Oh, fantastic. Julie Andrews, eat your heart out.
Oh,
Right.
Amen.
There we go.
I love that.
For a minute, I didn't know how to get you guys all back. I was like,
well, like I said, either people like it or they go, oh my God.
that was fun, Karen. That was fun.
Karen's known for her parodies here.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And I have a brand new one I wrote just for the show for later.
Oh, I thought that. Oh no, that wasn't the new one, was it?
Oh no, Frosty knows. I wrote that a few years ago. I do it every year.
That's funny.
That's her Toys for Tots number.
Exactly.
Oh, it's for Tots S&M thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Ooh. I don't know if I want to go.
I was going to say something dirty. I stopped myself.
I know. I have to stop myself all the time. I'm used to talking with a microphone in the bar, and it's like, yeah, don't do that.
Exactly. I had to learn to pull it back on Facebook.
All right. All right. So let's start these interviews. Denise.
Yes.
Let's see. How long have you been actually doing drag, and how did you get your start?
I started 39 years ago in February of 2021. It'll be my 40th anniversary of doing drag. And I started in a little club in Warren, Ohio. I was a bartender, and I was watching them book all of these entertainers in. And I kept thinking, okay, some of these are pretty good, but some of them aren't so hot. And I think I could probably do this. So I had friends that did drag, and one of them sat me down and painted me up. And I knew I could sing. I did all that when I was a kid in like the church choir and in the high school choirs and things like that, and sang live at my very first show and brought the house down. And that created the monster, Denise Russell.
Created the monster. That's funny. How'd you get your name?
Actually, that's the funny stuff. My drag mother said, "What are you going to be?" And well, I was larger. She was larger also. And I wore brunette hair when I started. And she said, "You look a lot like Jane Russell." So that's where the last name came from. Now, I wanted to do a play on it. I wanted to be Bambi Russell.
Bambi Russell.
And she said, "You are not sticking yourself with that name for the rest of your life." So we just took the female version of my male name, which is Dennis. We turned it to Denise.
Right. That was interesting, because mine was just like spare of the minute. I mean, so what's your name? I'm like, I don't know. It was like, I mean, what name do you like? You know, what do you? Because I used to do Reba, so
Okay.
I said, well, I guess I should think of a Southern name. So I said, how about Kaylin? And they're like, well, what about a last name? I said, I don't know. And somebody just then came up right behind me and goes, "Girl, you look fierce." And I said, there it is. Kaylin Fierce.
There it is.
So, yep, that's how I got my name.
But you could have been very close to being Kaylin McIntyre.
I didn't want to take the light away from Reba, you know. So was there ever a time, I guess, in your career that you just wanted to give it up? Like something had happened and it just was like, that's it, I'm done?
Probably back in the mid 80s to late 90s, it got very difficult because of the AIDS crisis we were in. And it seemed like we were raising money all the time. And it wasn't that I didn't like the drag. It was that it was such a sad situation to be in, to constantly be doing benefit work because the government wasn't doing anything. And that wore on me very hard, to where I wanted to just say, let it all go away. But, you know, I'm a pretty tough old bird, so I stuck it out and things got better.
Right. Right. Thank God. I just wish we could find a cure for that one.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure there's probably a cure somewhere and they're just not telling us.
Well, the pharmaceutical companies got to make their money.
That's true. Remember The Price is Right, when Bob Barker used to come out and say,
Yes.
Get your pet spayed and neutered, control the pet population. I think they're trying to control the human population. But, okay. So this is something I heard. You were actually on the Grand Ole Opry, weren't you?
Yes. the only female impersonator to ever perform on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry. And it was in 1995. I was with Cowboys Lacage in Nashville. It was a country look-alike female impersonation show that had opened there. And they wanted someone, Diana Hutton was one of the producers of the show, and he was very, very ill with the AIDS virus and was hospitalized during the opening of our show in Nashville. And one of his dying wishes to his friends were, I would love you to use somebody from our show sometime at the Grand Ole Opry for a big benefit thing. And they came and they watched the show, and they said, we can't have a lip sync artist because it's a live type venue. So I was the only one on the show that did anything live. And so they approached me after the show and said, would you do it? And I was like, well, of course I would. It was the Country Cares AIDS benefit. And oh my God, Pam Tillis and Billy Ray Cyrus, there were tons of country stars backstage. Of course, they all kept away from the old drag queen.
Of course.
But the funny thing was, I went out and I sang the crazy number. They introduced me as Dennis Russell from the Cowboys Lacage show, and the curtain opened up and 2,000 people gasped because there I was in high whore drag. And I wasn't expecting that reaction at an AIDS type benefit, but it was still a country audience.
Exactly.
And so I went, gotcha. I'm the RuPaul of country music. And I did the crazy number with all the voices, and I got a standing ovation. And the next day in the paper, Pam Tillis was quoted because she went on after me. And she said, they always say in show business, don't follow a child act, an animal act, and I got to add a drag queen to that now.
That's funny. That's awesome. So you had national titles, 2 of them, is that right?
Yes, I was Miss USA at Large in 1990 and Miss Continental Plus in 1992. Many, many, many years ago.
I graduated in 92 and I'm only 29.
Don't believe anything she says. So you judge pageants. So
yes, many.
Yes. So how does the pageant circuit compare to when you done your pageants compared to what they do now?
Oh, it's so very different the way they do it now. I'm gonna say back in the day.
Oh, we're going to the Wayback Machine here in a little bit.
Yes, we're in the Wayback Machine now. Because I was the second Miss USA at Large. That system was very new. Carmela was the first one in '89. I was 4th runner-up that year, and then I won the next year in 1990. She crowned me, but it was all. The promoter left it up to you. He said, I want you to build my system. That means you got to get out and you got to travel. And in those days, we didn't have cell phones. So they gave you a list after you won of promoters that were going to be holding pageants throughout the year. And what you did was when you got home, you contacted all of them and you wanted to set up a tour long before they were having their prelims to come through the area to get girls interested. And that's how you built the system. Today, it's very different. They consider that very old fashioned to go out and and hit the boards and do the work the hard way. Now they win the national title and they stay at home until they get flown out to do a prelim, and they don't do that preliminary work where you're on the road all year long building the system.
Wow.
So there's a big difference now.
It sounds like it's a big difference. I think a lot of things have changed. I mean, like, I don't think the girls are like all into the beaded gowns and stuff just for a show. I think they save that stuff for competitions now, where when I first started, and probably you too, it was all, you had to go out and you had to look beaded and bugle beaded and whatever.
There's a very old saying, you're only as good as your last show. And I truly believe that you want to put your best foot forward every time. And that's probably what the pageants taught me more than anything was when they're going to see you as the national representative, you better look and perform like the girl who deserved to win. So you're proving yourself night after night after night. This is why I won the title. And it gave you something to strive for, you know. Nothing's ever perfect, but you wanted to be as close to perfect as you could be for them that night.
Right. You worked in casinos too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I crossed over into casino work. I was lucky enough to have a few good lookalikes. I was always the big bone broads in the show. I did the Wynonna Judd. I did Mae West, did some Betty Davis. I did all kinds of voice routines. But I was I always emceed those type of shows. And I was the comic relief that they needed when they were changing sets behind the curtain or something like that.
Oh, jeez.
Because the MCs in those type of shows have a lot of work to do. I had to change. The shows usually run about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes, and it's very fast paced. And I would do 12 costume changes in that hour and 20 minutes. That's how quickly you were back and forth and back and forth.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot of work. I used to drop like 30 pounds during a run. It was so nice.
Sure you did. Anybody got my coffee cup? That's all I need.
And now I'm just sitting at home getting fatter and fatter.
You're not. You're not.
You're lucky the camera only shoots from my bust line up.
They're lucky that they don't. Excuse me. So how long were you in the casino?
Well, the Oregon casino, we did a six-year gig, but we only went out like 3 to 4 months at a time. But it would anywhere between 10 to 12 week runs we would do out at the casinos. And so you'd be out on the West Coast for all that time, but they supplied housing and things like that. And I missed the hubby, but he would usually fly out one time and see me during a run.
Okay. Speaking of hubby, how did you meet Jay?
I met Jay at a pageant. He was there helping another contestant who did not place. And I won. And that's how I met him.
That's funny. That's funny. So what was probably the funniest thing that actually kind of happened to you? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like in your career, I know there's a lot of funniness. So, but was there anything that really stuck out?
Twice during live performances, I have fallen off stage.
I think we've all done that.
Actually, at Miss Ohio America, I finished my talent number and they turned the lights out and I thought I knew where the steps were. And it was a 3.5 foot drop and I missed it by about a foot and went right off the edge. The odd thing was I ended up landing on my feet, but I broke my high heels.
What? Yeah, I know about that one too. What about the most unique thing that's happened?
Probably the most unique thing would probably be the Grand Ole Opry experience, or when we took that show, Cowboys to Country, took it on the road, and we went to the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was incredible. It was theater in the round, and there were probably like 2,000 people there, and when I walked out as Patsy Cline, it got so loud I could not hear the music. I heard the beginning, so I had to start tapping my toe and guess where the entrance was to the music.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Okay, so let's go with the Wayback Machine. Why don't you tell us some stories, girl. Tell us some stories.
Well, you know, in my day, you know, the young kids are always so interested in how it was so much different. And there's been so many advances in technology during the years that when I started, we took albums, full albums under our arms, along with our drag into a club to get ready, because everything was played off of an album. Even my backup tracks were usually just instrumentals of other songs that had been released. And it went from that, and then this new thing called cassettes was just amazing. And everything we had to have our favorite DJ people play those and record those onto cassettes for us. And then after that, the CD came along, and I was like, well, it looks like a record again. And it's like, no, it's not a record. It's like a digital thing. And now it's a little fob thing on your key they call a flash drive, and all your music's on that now. So it's all very unique to me, and I've had to learn to go with that kind of flow. And then if you want to go way back to my start, some of my influence, my very first drag influence, and you won't know her. They called her the Mother of Youngstown. She was doing drag in the late 40s in New York City, but was from the Youngstown area. Her name was Mag Riley, and she was the most encouraging. When I started doing drag, she had a Thursday night talent show at the Troubadour Lounge in Youngstown, and that's where you cut your teeth on drag and learned how to do things. You would go out and do those shows for free until you got good enough to be able to charge for a show. And I sang live my very first time, and I remember her encouraging me. She said, she talked so funny. She said, "No, Mary." She's like, "That's how we did it in the old days." She said, "We all sang live. We didn't have lip sync back then." And which struck me so funny. But if you think about it, the clubs in the late 40s in New York for female impersonation, they were on the hush hush. The club she worked in was Club 88 in New York, and it was run by mobsters. They didn't care how they made money. They just wanted to make money. And it was a 3-piece combo, and every performer sang live. And she said, whether you had a good voice or a bad voice, you sang live. And she said it was probably the early 50s. They were doing auditions, and someone brought a phonograph player in and plugged it in. And she said they got up there and they were moving their mouth to the music. And she said, voila, we saw lip sync for the first time.
That's funny. That's funny.
So that's a little bit about, kind of like how it's changed throughout the years.
Right. Oh, you like doing toasts. Do you have a toast?
Of course I do. I'll have to think of a clean one here.
We already know about Louise.
Well, how about this one? I'll have to clean it up a little bit. Here's to the lesbian from Chester who said to the gal who undressed her, "I think that you'll find you should lick my behind because my coochie's beginning to fester."
Oh, that's funny. Ross, your turn.
Well, you already hit 4 of mine. So I'm going to start with the most important question. How is Mr. Petey?
Mr. Petey is doing great. For those folks that don't know, that's my little dog. He's deaf. At one of the casino shows in Oregon, Cody Collins used to do it, and she loves animals too. And we got to be friends with the local veterinarian, and we would foster animals until they got adopted because it gave us something to do. After the show was up and running, it got kind of boring during the days. You didn't have much to do. So we would foster animals and find them homes. And they called us and said they had a little puppy that was 4 weeks old. He was too young to be separated from his mother, but the father dog had attacked him and broken his back leg badly. And so I said, sure, we would foster him. And I went and I saw him. He weighed 2 pounds and he fit in the palm of my hand. And he had a cast on his back leg that was as big as his whole body. And I just fell in love with him. And he was all white and he had a ring around his eye. And he looked like the dog from the Little Rascals. I was like, his name has to be Petey. And I said, somehow I think this dog is going to end up with me. So we fostered him for a while. And the vet was like, she called and she said, well, his family wants to give him up. Do you want to take ownership? And I said, sure. I took ownership. But there was a little problem we found out when he got to be about probably 9 weeks old. He wasn't reacting to any sound whatsoever. And so I took him into the vet and I said, I think he might be deaf. And so they ran the test on him. And she said, well, he's not just hard of hearing. He's completely deaf. He can't hear a thing because they do a sonic type test in their ears. And she thought I was bringing him back to to give him back. And I said, oh no, he needs me even more now. Poor little thing has a cast on his leg and now he can't hear. I need to take care of him. And that's how we got Petey. And he's 6 years old now.
That's awesome.
He's adorable too.
He is.
Oh, he really is. We love him. And he's so quiet.
I like Scrappy.
Well, he can't hear anything to bark at it.
I got door closed this time.
Yeah, he chimed in last week during our opening.
Yeah.
How did you get hooked up with the Golden Girls?
Oh, those are my contemporaries. Well, we searched the nursing homes. No. Many queens I've worked with over the years. And the one who actually got it all together was Twyla Starr out of Toledo. She'd been around for a long, long time. And she contacted me and she said, I want you to start working in Toledo a little more. She got me a few gigs and she was like, I want to invite Jennifer Fox down. And she goes, but we got to call the show something. And she goes, would you be offended if we called it the Golden Girls? Well, I was like, no, because we're all in our 60s. So it's like, no, that's not offensive. And so we added Jennifer Fox, and we did that for a few years. And then we added Sonia Ross from the Columbus area, who's also a legendary performer. We're all in our I don't want to say, well, I'll spill the tea. Sonia Ross is the youngest. I believe she's just 61. I'm 63. Twyla Starr is 65. And Jennifer Fox is 68, going on 69. And we tour every so often together and show them that the older drag community can still put on a pretty good show. We've done it in the Columbus area, the Detroit area several times, and up in Toledo, and then over in the Youngstown area also. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful response we get, because we have, it's like, Lord, we have like 180 years of drag experience between us.
Well, I know right before the pandemic, Menjo's just added the Diva show as a quarterly show.
Yes.
So you're coming back every quarter to do another show, and then all hell broke loose, and that's on the back burner.
Exactly. So we've been sitting waiting at the nursing home for our call that we'd come back and perform.
At least you got your Jello.
Jello and pudding. And alcohol.
Yeah, there you go. Your Wednesday night shows are so popular and so what I think we all need right now, a little bit of levity, a little bit of humor, some entertainment. What got you started doing that on Wednesday nights? Well,
so that was the thing. In March, when this hit really bad, my last show was actually in Columbus at Bosco's, I think on the 14th. The very next day, the 15th of March, they stopped everything, like dead in its tracks. And I was like, okay, this is going to take away a lot of work. And that week, I talked to a few friends about how I go live on Facebook. I'd seen people do it, but I wasn't sure how it worked. And that's how I got the live thing going. And now, well, this coming Wednesday will be my 41st show. I do it weekly on Wednesdays. So it's going on 41 weeks I've been going live now. And so that's how I got it started. It's been trial and error. I had to get a new phone. I had to get better internet. So I had to upgrade a lot of things. But it's keeping my head above water. People are very nice about the tipping and doing all that sort of thing. And so it actually gives me an outlet, because I've been on the road for so many years, and the brakes got slammed on it, and it was just like, now what do I do? What do I do with myself now? And so this is my big outlet now, is being able to go live on the internet.
Yep, I think this is a lot of our outlets now is doing this, and that's really how this show got started. Even before I joined the show, this is what Kaylin did, was to kind of give entertainment, virtually, so that people had something to get on and be entertained by. But your Wednesday night shows are fantastic. And of course, you're doing your Sunday night brunches now once a month.
Yes.
I just caught the first one last Sunday with Cody. It was great seeing her again. She's been in my thoughts and prayers for a while, and it was good to see that she's in good spirits and good health, and that it was great seeing her. It was fantastic. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you are so welcome. I was very happy to have her as my very first guest. And I was a little worried because I didn't know she'd want to talk about how her health was. That's what kind of got her out of the business, was she had to take care of herself. And trust me, it makes me very sad. She was one of my favorite comedic partners on stage. She did all the casino shows with me, and we would write routines together. And you got to bond that way with somebody on stage. You know, every night you're going out and you're doing these routines together, and it's all about the timing you get and how funny you can be and play off each other. And she was one of the best ones at that ever. And it makes me a little sad to think that probably won't happen again, because she is absolutely retired from the business.
Yeah. I know I love performing, but if I've got that other person to bounce things off of on stage, it makes it 10 times better for me.
Absolutely.
But that's all I have, because she took my Grand Ole Opry and people write down questions. I just kind of wrote down like talking points, because you know, I knew at the Grand Ole Opry because I've been watching you since you was performing at Gigi's.
Oh, yeah. I've been.
If you show up, I'd be there to see you.
I know. I've been working at that club for over 30 some years now.
And you've won a handful of Performers Awards of Detroit for favorite out of city.
Yes. I've. The funny story is on that, I had been nominated like 8 times years ago for the favorite out of town award, and I lost like 8 years in a row. I was the Susan Lucci of that award. And now I've won it like 10 times in a row now, and I'm like, stop already.
Well, it's not. But I want to get over now to Miss KJ Karen O'Brien.
Yes.
I still have all my talking points for you.
I just didn't want to interrupt nobody. I'm usually the one that has to talk and keep everybody going. I'm like, I can sit back and listen in.
Yeah.
That Denise Russell has a big mouth.
Hey, us vocalists got to stick up for each other. We're
exactly, sweetie.
You've been doing karaoke in Detroit for how long now?
Oh my god! In the LGBTQ community since 1990.
Wow! And now I know you've done. You're currently pending. You've done karaoke at Gigi's and Adam's Apple.
Yeah, I've been at Gigi's for 20 years and Adam's Apple for 14.
Yep. You are so much fun to be around. You've done. When did you start doing the Detroit Invasion shows?
The Detroit Invasion shows, started those 8 years ago, and just totally I wanted to try something new. I didn't want to change my show, you know, a huge lot. I still wanted to incorporate karaoke into it, but I knew that when I first started performing, not just running karaoke, it was extremely difficult to get stage time. And I wanted to open that up to other people that normally could not get on stage. And started off doing it that way. And actually my very first MC was Krista Radiance out in Kansas now.
So she's actually here. She's watching.
She's watching? Hey, Krista.
Yep.
I mentioned you.
I was very lucky to have joined the Detroit Invasion last year. I love it because, like you said, it is something different. It's kind of a variety. You get the entertainers, and then you get your karaoke in between. Then you kind of get your entertainers again.
Right.
I know sometimes if it's been like a slow night, we've just kind of like run through both sets, and then kind of like sandwiched it in with the karaoke before and after. But it's always a fun show. You're always a fun host. You've got your parodies. Do you remember the first parody you wrote?
Oh, I think the very first one I wrote was the Michigan Gays that lists all the bars.
Well, the ones that are left now, you've had to rewrite that sucker.
I have rewritten that song 8 times.
Every time a bar closes, All right, scratch that one.
Exactly. So every time I have to relearn, I'm like, oh, okay, who's still here? Who's not still here? So hopefully, when the bars reopen, I won't have to redo another rewrite.
Yeah. Now you also, as far as being also KJ, you also do custom mixes for people for show numbers.
Oh yeah, I've done mixes for years. I've done for Lady T Tempest, for Renee Peters, Sandra DeVore. Actually, when she won Miss Amateur GG's 2014-15, I did her Snow White mix.
So if any entertainers are looking to get mixes done, you can also hit up Miss KJ Karen O'Brien because she does those mixes. I've got one sitting in the inbox that I can't wait to do live.
Yeah, I've made a few, and I try not to give too many of them out because I would like to perform them, but I'll customize stuff so that it's specifically for that person. Yeah.
And now you are married. For people who don't know, Karen is a biological woman. I know.
I can't say what I would normally say.
Well, I think now they say cisgendered. It's cis now.
Well, I was going to say, never mind. It's a brand. There's no way I can censor it and get in trouble.
No, I didn't just I knew her when she was Kevin. But now you are with your hubby Pat.
Yes.
When did you guys meet?
We met back in '91, and he was actually a blind date for my best friend at a party I was throwing.
Was he dressing something for a pageant that you won?
When he first came in the door, I thought, thank God, Laura. This is for Laura because, I want nothing to do with this guy. This guy is boring. He wants to play just euchre and sit down, not really interacting with people. I'm like, yeah, you go for it, girl. I don't need him. And that was 27 years ago.
Wow. And 27 years later, here you are.
Yep. And most people have no clue that he's a real person because he rarely comes out. I work at night, he works during the day, so it's rare when he gets to come out to a show.
Yeah, he's just the voice in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Karen, tell us about I'm trying to think what he said. Cavalier shows, is that right?
You mean the variety shows I was doing?
Charlie said something about a Cavalier show.
Cavalier.
You mean cabaret?
No. Right now he's gone, so I can't.
Charlie don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yes, Charlie.
Fighting half the time. I'm like, what?
Karen's actually not just known in Detroit. She's actually taken her show on the road. She's been in Pontiac. She used to do karaoke in a bar in Pontiac. She's been in Cadillac.
Yeah, the farthest I ever actually was on stage was Hawaii and in Europe. I'd actually toured Europe twice.
Oh, cool. I learned something new.
I like European. Never mind.
Leave
your armpits out of this, Karen.
The Red Light District in Amsterdam, honey. That was a trip.
Oh, God. Well, I thought he was back. I guess he's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was going with that, but
I don't either. I'm trying to read it, and I swear it said Cavalier shows, but I don't know.
The Cleveland Cavaliers?
I don't know. Charlie, didn't that say Cavalier?
Were you a cheerleader for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Doesn't that say Cavaliers?
I'm smiling and nodding.
I asked her about the Cavalier shows.
They were great. They were fabulous.
Cadillac.
Oh, Cadillac.
Cadillac. Looked like Cadillac.
Yeah. We did I think we did 3 or 4 shows for Cadillac for their Pride shows, and we did actually the very first one for them. We had gotten a phone call asking us to come up there. They'd never done this before. They heard about us, wanted to know if we would come up there, and it was crazy. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was crazy. In a town where it was the only gay bar in town, actually within about 60 miles. So it was definitely interesting for them because when they came in and they had signs everywhere, and they're seeing the drag queens. Okay, they get it. They see the drag kings. Like, okay, I get it. And then they see me and they just are like, what is she doing? I could not figure out what. And then when I started, so I did the parodies for them, and they were just like, I've never heard this song before. And I would just keep going with them. I'd just go up, sit in their lap and go, yeah, honey, you're never going to hear this unless you hear it from out of my mouth.
Right. So you and I, years ago when I was living up there, we used to do duets together.
Yep, at the Other Side Lounge.
Yep, the Other Side Lounge. And so when did you start doing parodies? Or what made you want to start doing them?
Actually, I was performing just as a regular singer for years, or trying to, let's put it that way. It wasn't until I started writing parodies about 15 years ago, 12, 15 years ago. I've
been gone 20 years from Michigan.
Well, I started writing them to basically be able to perform, because trying to perform as a straight female live singer, it just wasn't cutting it.
Right.
And especially when you're no longer 20 and you can't wear the itty bitty little things on stage, it's like you have to come up with a whole nother gimmick just to be able to get up there. So that's when I started writing parodies. The dirtier they were, the more people liked it. So then they got really raunchy. Which is why when I do something online or recorded that's going to be like Facebook or something, I have to really think about those words so that I don't say the wrong thing.
Everybody drink.
We had the most fun in those shows.
Oh my God, I can't wait till we can get back in to do that. Frosty is one of my Detroit Invasion casts, which is a variety show. Through the years, we've had drag kings, drag queens, live singers, parody artists. My friend Mr. Carrie DeWay, he got started doing parodies with me. He was originally just one of my karaoke singers over at Adam's Apple. And he had asked, hey, if I wrote a few things, could I do them? And I was like, yeah, I know you can handle yourself. And he got to be really good at it. And I was really happy when he joined.
Awesome.
I know. And speaking of the parody songs, and not really parody, but actually going back also to Denise, I remember one of the first times I saw you perform, you did Crazy, and you did the voices.
Yes.
It was so fun. And the one voice I was not expecting was Elmer Fudd. All of a sudden, you go from all these Kate Hepburn and Patsy Cline, go and Crazy. I'm like, oh my God, it's hilarious.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, Denise, you and I do have one thing in common concerning the PAD Awards for vocalists.
Yes.
For live vocalists, I thought I was the only one that got the Susan Lucci Award every year because every year, between myself and James Taylor Jr., we'd be nominated, and somebody else would win. Somebody else would win. And after 7 years, when I won, I walked up, took it, and I said, "Well, James, I guess now you have the Susan Lucci Award because now this is mine."
Amen to that one.
Took me 7 damn years. 7 years to do it.
I wanted to give a shout out. Good evening, Jennifer Fox. We just saw your message.
Hi, Jennifer.
Oh,
Hi, Foxy.
Jennifer. Oh.
Do you have anything else for Miss Kaylin?
I don't think so. Denise, do you have any questions for Kaylin? I mean, I
want her to write a parody. I have an idea for one, and
Yeah.
I don't. It's probably politically incorrect, but the tune keeps coming into my head. I want you to do something like "Grandma got run over by the COVID."
Well,
Right.
trust me. There have been several times where I thought, especially looking at the White House, it's like, oh my God, this person is screaming for me to write a parody, but I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Well, I could, but then
You got to do it. You got to write.
well, during this whole time that we've been down, I've written a song about toilet paper. I've written a song. Yeah, but while we couldn't find any, I was like, well, if anything is going to inspire me to write something, the fact of having to count my squares is going to do it.
Well, at least you wrote something that can relate to everybody.
Exactly.
Can't relate to running out of toilet paper.
Oh my God. At work, we've got this toilet paper called Bamboo, and it's made out of bamboo. I was like, there ain't nothing like wiping your butt with a stick. I mean,
Ouch!
At least you got the stick, because Scott's toilet paper is using a piece of string trying to wipe your butt.
isn't that called a tampon?
Now you're talking about sticks around your butt, and my mind is going there.
It takes a stick out of your butt, literal.
Yes, Denise looks all prim and proper, but
Oh, sure.
She's a good Christian woman.
I'm a filthy old broad.
Oh God, Karen, do you have any questions for Denise?
She has one. Why?
Why did it take us all these years before I could actually share a stage with you?
I know. I love parody work. It's so fun.
Oh, girl, I'll have to send you a couple of mine. I got ones that I could not even do on this show because I'd have to change so many words to make it PG. It wouldn't make any sense.
I've only done a couple of those over the years that I've tried to rewrite myself, and they're difficult to do. Well, for me, anyways. But yeah, too filthy for me to do unless I'm in a nightclub somewhere.
Oh yeah, I always get an interesting reaction when I sing. It's called Doggy Style.
Oh,
and Frosty's heard it. The song's Gangnam Style by Psy. The music.
yes.
I tell people this is what he's actually saying in Korean, and it's
Not hit him up doggy style.
That's good. That's real good.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
You got a plethora of them.
right.
there are a lot of them. Some are really good. Others are like, yeah, this was a bad idea.
And you got to watch out for the Facebook police.
That's why I'm watching what I'm saying, because it's been.
I know about when you do your parodies.
Well, that's why I have the lyrics in front of me, so I don't just go right into automatic pilot and say the wrong thing.
Yeah, I know some queens here did a Holly Dolly Christmas tribute, and it was on Facebook Live, but Facebook wouldn't save it to re-air it because of copyright. So if you didn't see it live, you didn't see it.
Right.
Which my thing is, I know there's the copyrights and everything, but when it comes to like drag queens and drag kings, we're actually promoting the artist and their music. So why wouldn't they want to have us promote that? So I never understood that, but
because we aren't.
I know they can be. They can be very funny about what they'll air and what they won't air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
When we did our pre-election show, Kaylin had a great idea. How about having Lady Gaga sing the national anthem before the show? Because it was a politically charged show, mm-hmm. and we had to restart like twice because of copyright. Facebook wanted to take it down immediately, so we had to go out and come back in, and then we still weren't live. We had to go out and come back in. All because of the national anthem, and it was by Lady Gaga.
Oh.
So,
but I wonder if it was
boring open themselves.
I wonder if it was because it was the broadcast of the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
Oh, that could be. NFL's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have eyes everywhere.
I just happened to think of that. It wasn't just like a song that she put out. You know, it was actually from the Super Bowl, and I bet they probably along with Facebook said, "Oh hell no." Yeah.
Oh hell no.
Oh hell no. Shut it down.
Pam Rupp said she likes the Jenny Craig one.
The Jenny Craig one.
Craig parody.
Oh no! Anything for food, or the Adele one, because I did an Adele parody too. To Rolling in the Deep, it's like I really like to eat.
That's funny.
I make tip money off of lip syncing other people's parodies. I've done Jackie Beat songs. Probably the biggest one that I've done was Penetration did a parody of Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake, and it's called Chubby Back. I'm bringing Sexy Back, I'm bringing Chubby Back. And any new bar I would go in where I didn't know if they knew me or not, I would bring that number because it was a crowd pleaser. And I did it one year at Pride, and they went up for it. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm like, I hope I have to pay her royalties for it. I perform the song more than she has.
That's funny.
The copyrights are a funny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a parody thing. If you want to record a parody song, there's a parody law that says you can use the music as long as you're using parody lyrics.
Right.
I can do that myself.
Not only that, but I think when Denise goes live, they don't clock her. But when we go lip sync, they clock us.
Yeah.
Because we're not using our
There's
own
something about the backup tracks that have been licensed for reuse. It's an odd law.
It's a fine line with Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it helps if you change the key or the tempo or something. Then you can
Which I do all of them.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Denise, you want to do one more toast?
Of course I will.
Okay.
Let me have a last sip of alcohol and we'll sing for you. A little holiday number, one of my favorite ones. I hope you like it. Here we go. Have yourselves a merry little Christmas. Let your hearts be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourselves a merry little Christmas. Keep the Yuletides gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. And have yourselves a merry little Christmas now. I sure have had a good time tonight. Thank you for inviting me on your show. From our house to each and every one of your houses, we wish you a Merry Christmas. And remember to have yourselves a merry little Christmas now. Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Karen, you want to do your last one as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me get you on here. There you go.
And this is one that I actually wrote the day after I was asked to do this show. So this is dedicated to you guys, and it's another. Let's get those boobs up, popping through, headlights shining like new. Come on, I know the titties do get smiling like you. And when those knuckles are rocking, there's just no stopping your move. Come on, when the bus is speaking through a spell I'm getting from you. Push 'em up, push 'em up, push 'em up, let's go. Let's give 'em a show. We're giving Hooters a chance to dance hello. Stick 'em up, put 'em out, go and stack that rack. Give 'em a boob attack. The biggest bounce in the house goes to the girl with the highest stack. If you got 'em, just flaunt 'em, there's just no stopping those chugs. Don't be a Scrooge with those boots, I just don't want to hear any humbug. Just go and open your shirt, let 'em out and flirt and be free. Go on and shake those maracas and shimmy tatas with me. There's a melon party anytime the music plays. Just give me a beat and have a seat, the girls are on their way. Whether gay or straight, you just can't wait for the boobies to arrive. These wonderful things, these wonderful things, these wonderful things are the things we'll remember all through our lives. The deep V in the middle will make you spittle your beer. Bosoms are made for loving, no push or shoving, they're here. I got 'em stuck up to the chin, it can be a big win, let's keep. Come on and shake those maracas. Shake those maracas. Come on, shake those maracas and shinny tatas with me. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And of course, I want to say thank you to everybody at Adam's Apple and Gigi's for all their support as well. I have no idea whether you can actually hear me over the music because I kept trying to bounce it.
Oh, we hear you.
Yeah,
It's funny because I see like you on my phone where I'm at, but then I'm also at my PC and like I look over, it's like knockers are like right there.
right.
So then I did my job.
You're rescued a motorboat.
Oh, guys, ladies, it was so great to have you on tonight. I've really enjoyed this. Denise, I'm so glad I finally got to somewhat meet you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's over. Then we'll get together.
Absolutely.
So, Frosty, you had an idea that you wanted to.
Did. This is our last show of 2020, and we wanted to wrap it up. And today I was thinking, because we're kind of taking Stay Fabulous in a bigger direction, and we are making some changes for 2021. And one of the things I wanted to do is bring on like a support group. And right now the tentative title, because I've looked on Google, I've Google searched different things to see if anything pops up, and it is Be Better, Be Fabulous. And it would be like a support group adjacent to our Stay Fabulous page, which if you're trying to lose weight in the new year, try to quit smoking in the new year, it would offer you encouragement and kind of fellowship with one another in the community to kind of give you the extra push. Because I would say like 90 to 95% of everyone has like that weight loss goal, their New Year's resolution, or to quit smoking, or whatever your vices that you're trying to give up. So I thought it'd be nice to have something in the community that kind of ties us in to kind of support you and give you that extra push that you need. Because Lord knows I've fallen off the wagon. I need to get back. I need to get back at my diet because being in quarantine since March, and I mean, we were looking for a house. We were trying to buy a house. We finally bought a house, then kind of get settled into it. My diet's just completely wrecked. So I know after the holidays come the new year, I need to kind of get back on it and get moving in the right direction because I didn't have that surgery for nothing, and I'm not popping my stitches for nothing. So that's something that's coming up in the new year as well. Some new merchandise that we're going to be launching too in the new year, and of course, we are. We do try to help out those in the community. I know when we did launch our key rings, because we've said it before, when we do this show, we don't accept tips for ourselves because Kayla and I are both very fortunate to have full-time jobs that we can still work. We're both essential workers. Kaylin, of course, works the front lines at CVS. And I'm a behind-the-scenes healthcare worker for Beaumont here. So we've been very fortunate to be able to still be employed. So we kind of like to give back. So with our key rings stuff, we have given back, namely to our fellow sister Denise, to help her out. And so we're going to continue to do that with the merchandise. We're going to get more merchandise so that we can also build up kind of like a nest where we can afford to actually, put out more merchandise to ship it and just outside of Ohio and Michigan where we're at. So also getting that going too. So hang there with us. And I know we've dropped her name a few times tonight, but our first show back is going to be January 10th, 2021 with the legend Jennifer Fox. So we will see you guys back here on January 10th with Jennifer Fox as our very special guest for the new year, our first guest of 2021. And we actually have guests booked out up until March now. So every 2 weeks, starting January 10th, we'll be here with a new guest every 2 weeks, every show. So we're going to keep the interviews going because this is our niche. This is what people like to see. And I've been watching the comments tonight. A lot of positive feedback for the interviews. So we're going to keep doing this. This is going to be our format. So, and it's only been, where's my time? An hour and 10 minutes so far. So we're under where we normally are.
We talked about
I think if we keep it under, we're gonna keep more people behind.
Right.
And so after an hour and 15 minutes, like these bitches still talking.
I would love to do another show with you guys because until it's safe for me to get outside, this is the only place I can perform is in my room.
Yep. And I've got some things in mind for you too, Karen. So I will message you privately on those. So we got you too, sister.
And we still have one more thing to say about 2021, right?
We can say that on Facebook.
Do we?
Yes. We are in the process of because it was ironic and it actually really kind of upset me a little bit. One of my news feeds went through and somebody had sweatshirts with our logo on it. So we have to change the logo. However, we've got people working on it. We've got a couple different styles and looks, and hopefully we'll have a new logo by January 2021. So that's why we don't want to really roll out any more merchandise at this point till we know we have a logo that's solid. The one woman that had made the one that I showed you, she's made this from scratch. She said that she made something for us that no one else has, no one else can get. So hopefully this will be ours. And we can continue.
on the plus side, if you did get merchandise from us this year, it's first edition. It's never going to be duplicated.
That's true too. Yep. So, and if we're lucky, it'll be worth some money someday. Do what?
Collector's item.
Collector's item.
Yes, exactly. And it would be if we change, when we change the logo, because like you said, that's the first edition and it'll never be duplicated. So I'm really excited about that. So anyway, Frosty, are you ready? We didn't practice.
We're going to do this.
We're going to do it.
Thank you to our guests tonight, Karen and Denise. It's been fabulous to have you. Yes. We've enjoyed. I'm so glad we had this time together. I'm not much of a singer, as Kermit or Miss Piggy once said. I got a frog in my throat.
I'm leaving it alone.
And Charlie wants to come back on after we're done and the broadcast ends. I guess he wants to talk to all of us. Okay.
Well, then let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. We love you all. We're so happy that you guys support us and have showed us so much love throughout the months. We are building it, and every day I post how many likes and how many people actually are going on the site. And last I looked, it was, what was it, 5,396, I think. Considering 4 months ago, we were at like 2. If we were lucky, it was 2. But now our likes are up to 91. And I know that today there was quite a few people. Me and Frosty were getting things saying that more people were going on Stay Fabulous and hitting like. So
Yep.
Keep up the good work, guys. I'm so happy, and please keep sharing. That's the only way it's going to get known is just to keep sharing. Share to your friends, share to your family, whoever you need to share to. So with that being said, share. All right. I'm Fierce.
I'm Frost. Stay fabulous.
Are we not saying and we're still
We talked about it.
Oh gosh. Yeah. We'll get this sooner or later.
Stay safe, fabulous. Wear a mask. It's not over yet. Yes. Wear a mask.
Yes, please do. I deal with this every day at work. And you know, the day that guy right. Oh, I can't put mine on because, well, we're not ready to wear those yet. Someone actually made me and Frosty masks that say Fearsome Frost and then Stay Fabulous across it. So we're waiting until our first show to actually wear those. Just for a minute. I mean, obviously we're not going to wear it through the whole thing. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
We love you. And you guys have a good night. We'll see you on January 10th.
Yes. Mwah.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Night.